Yes, live and in color. Fresh black coffee on a Saturday morning for you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Fresh Black Coffee, whatever we want to call it. I wouldn't call it a show, program. What do you want to, Dave, what do you want to call it?
Enlightenment.
Oh, Fresh Black Enlightenment. I'm sure there's a whole segment of our population that would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think take it. Hey, by the way, how is everyone? I hope you all are doing well. It's Saturday. I feel like we weren't here last week, were we? So it's been a little bit of a. You were in Minnesota.
No, I just came back last week.
Was it last?
It was the week before.
It was the week before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, last week's show must not have been that memorable, as I don't remember it. But anyway, yeah. So we never did. Actually, I think what it is, we never really talked about much. We did talk about you going by the site of the shooting. And,
yeah, there was so much we couldn't cover it all in
right
3 hours.
But anyway, I don't want to encroach upon the time of our guest. We have a special guest again this morning.
You know what
King.
this is?
What is this?
This is KFAQ reunion, right? We just need Mary Alice.
Mary Alice is in the hospital.
Oh. See, you and her are pretty tight, right?
She is my closest friend.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, well, be sure to tell her hi from me.
She'll appreciate that.
Yeah, because she always, in fact, she's on one of my Facebook friends. I hear from her pretty often on Facebook. So, yeah, Mary Alice. Last time I saw Mary Alice was at Pat Campbell's funeral.
Yes.
She was. Were you there with her?
No,
were you sitting up there?
No,
okay.
All right. We have with us the one and only Theodore King. Goes by Ted.
King
Hello,
Theodore.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Thank you. I'm wearing.
Ted's jumping at the bits.
Sure. I have
to
something to
present
sell.
his.
Ted's excited. He's worked on a tome.
All right. Without further ado, then.
Okay.
Theodore.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing with us? Now you have two books with you. Let's start with the first one.
Yes.
And tell us a little about it.
This is The War on Smokers and the Rise of the Nanny State, which I wrote in 2009. And it was basically, I was making the case that tobacco was becoming illegal in practical speaking.
You wrote this 16 years ago.
Yes. This is my first book.
Now, you and Tucker Carlson have a mutual friend. Michael Knowles.
Yes. Well, Michael and I haven't spoken in years. Since
but and he was talking to Tucker while he's at Yale, his formative years. And one of the big issues, because they are big time now on smokers' rights, but they weren't back in 2009.
Well, no, they were.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. In fact, Michael was talking about having me come to Yale and talk. Never happened.
Right.
And I had this plan. I thought, well, I'll go to Yale. We'll talk. I'll give my talk. And then afterwards, we'll do some drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then once, we're fairly liquored up, I'll say to Michael, are you in Skull and Bones?
Yes.
That's funny. Hey, it's funny, which is
all right.
superior.
We're back, Eddie, now, so we can continue on. We have video.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were in the middle of a coffee discussion between Guatemala or somewhere in central El Salvador.
And Uganda.
In Uganda, right.
So the time we were talking and I mentioned Milton Obote.
Oh, yep. Milton Obote, yes.
And you said, I am the first person you have encountered in this country who knew who he was.
Right.
Yeah. He was the tyrant after
Idi Amin.
Now, see, that's not such a useless degree. Where'd you go to college?
Northeastern State. And first in Tahlequah, which is just down the road.
And then?
Well, before that, I went to Christendom College in Front Royal, Virginia.
Yes. And what did you get for a degree?
A useless degree.
What was it called?
Political science.
Well, there you go.
It's useless. But don't do it.
Except some tyrant in Africa.
I know of several of them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, Ted. I just have to say here, it's interesting that we speak of something that was in the international news.
Sure.
For anybody to see, right. But for some reason, a certain person in Oklahoma has never heard of these things because they're busy worrying about marijuana rights and things like that.
Cut it out.
No, just kidding. I love to give Dave this. I don't know. Do you know how? Did we explain how we met? Or
church?
No.
I mean, you both are, I think, former Catholics, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Good memory.
I'm here to win you back.
All right. Yeah. No. Actually, we knew of each other, but what brought us together was a disagreement about Donald Trump. He was a Ted Cruz fan. Yeah. I was a Trump fan.
And I was a fact checker.
Early on. And he was a fact checker, but I had to check his facts. Oh. So that's how we started arguing, and now we do it like Pat and I used to do.
I don't know how he and Pat got along so well all those years.
Well, we each understood and gave each other the right to be wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, so it was freedom, American freedom of speech at its best. Finest.
But what it was is I met him at Defenders of Liberty Awards.
Right.
And I come up to him, I'm talking to him. And then when he gets canceled by KFAQ,
right,
I reached out. I said, Eddie, they don't win unless you stop. Don't stop.
I actually never got canceled. I quit.
Well, okay. But they put terms on you that so limited you that it wasn't.
No. Actually, what happened, I'll just tell you what happened. I'm not averse to saying the word nigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I told this lady
I remember you're saying that on
well, that's and what it was, I was trying to say free the N-word was my speech. That it's like and we've talked about it here, nerd, you used to call somebody a nerd, and until it became Revenge of the Nerds came out, the movie, and all of a sudden it was cool to be a nerd, and different things that once you free a word, then you can, it takes the sting out of it. And so as long as we are afraid to let people call us that,
right.
So, somebody says, hey, nigger, I say, hey, what honky? Right. I mean that I have as much right to come back, fade, Chuck. In fact, black people have more derogatory terms about white people than white people have about black people. You just don't get to hear them because we keep them in the community. So that's
in the community.
In the community, yes. It occasionally escapes. But anyway, Ted, we're way off.
Well,
sorry, I apologize.
I should do a plug for something. Have you heard of the Hotep's Been Told You podcast? There are two black men. One's from Exeter, Pennsylvania, and the other one's from New Jersey. There's Hotep Jesus. That's what he calls himself. His name, not what I gave him. And Uncle Hotep. And they're both Trump guys, and they use that word every other sentence.
Well, anywhere.
It's on Spotify.
Well, you go on YouTube, and every black comedian out there.
Eddie, that's called black privilege.
Yeah, right. But they'll also feel free to call people honky and cracker.
Oh, yeah.
And Chuck and all these other derogatory names for white people, fade. And so it's one of these things that like so many other things, the people have allowed themselves to be painted to. But Dave, this is our dear friend's time. We want to let's get back to your book.
My segue back to that is the shaming in tobacco's case for taxation.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's I shouldn't say this, but I have this friend in New York City, and I made a trip over to Missouri this summer, and because her sister smokes, and I bought a carton, and a carton in Missouri was under $100. Here it would be like 120, 130. It'd be very expensive. Yeah. But Missouri has the lowest tobacco taxes, so I just boxed it up and I mailed it off to her. And she's puffing away in her apartment in Queens and happy as she can be. It's what you do for friends. I shouldn't admit that.
Well, interesting thing is I remember when I smoked and I was in college and my dad was in the military. And we used to buy a carton of cigarettes for $1.90.
Wow.
$1.90 a carton, and now you're telling me $100.
Oh, over.
Oh my, that's
And
what.
Missouri has the lowest tobacco taxes, I think, in the country right now.
So about $80 out of that.
That's a $10,000
taxes.
increase.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was Mary Fallon who pushed for that when she was governor. I never liked her. Just
Well,
for the record,
yeah, that was one. And here's the thing: because I was president of NAMI Tulsa, mental health advocacy.
Right.
Kathy Costello worked with me on a lot of these things, and
Mark is mentioned in here.
Yes. So anyway, they tried to get us to sell it because they said 1/4 of the new proceeds of this tobacco tax was going to go for mental health programs.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what I came up with? NAMI actually had published a study that said 42% of all tobacco products are consumed by the mentally ill.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not, I'm not saying you're part of that, but anyway, but I said, that's like putting a tax on wheelchairs to benefit the handicapped.
Sure.
We don't need that kind of help.
No.
You're wanting us to pay for our own programs.
Right. Yes,
You know?
exactly.
And I say us because I associate with them. Not that I have a diagnosed. I just won't go to the doctor. See, that's
Oh, yeah.
Ted, continue,
Yes.
please.
By the way, speaking of Mark Costello.
Yeah.
And this is the book, Cowboy Bethlehem.
There you go.
Cowboy Bethlehem, the story of Our Lady of Clear Creek Abbey.
Yeah.
It's out now.
That's your new book that you
This is
just
my new
released.
book.
Gotcha.
Mark Costello Mark and Kathy were very close to the monks. They both went to the University of Kansas back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And attended the humanities program called the Pearson Humanities Program. Oh, well, my mind is going blank.
And let's remind people, Mark is
the late
Mark Costello was state labor
right.
commissioner.
You're right.
And he and Kathy bought some land next to the monastery when the monks moved to Oklahoma because they lived in Edmond. And I remember one time I was out at the monastery and Mark Costello was there, and I went up to him and I said, "Mark, you look like a politician." And he said to me, "Thank you." He appreciated that. Normally, people don't always like being associated with politicians. This is all labor commissioners, state labor commissioners regulate elevators in the state. Every elevator. There's an elevator in the monastery. And there's a picture right here of the elevator certificate. I'll show it to you all in a minute. With Mark Costello's name on it and the address and the name of Clear Creek Abbey. And they have this to this day because they're very proud of it. You know, he was their friend.
Really
And Mark, in fact, when his son killed him, I was at the funeral, and the abbot was there, and the Archbishop of Oklahoma City, Archbishop Coakley, who also is from Kansas, went to the University of Kansas. Mark was born and raised in Bartlesville. Kathy is from Kansas. The Archbishop of Oklahoma City, Archbishop Coakley, also attended the Pearson program and knew all of these people. And I don't know, were you all at the internment?
No, I heard some stories about it, but I was at the funeral.
Let me tell you about the internment. We're out in the middle of nowhere, north of Oklahoma City. And you can see the Devon Tower from the distance because it's so tall. And there was a news helicopter circling around Ghoulish, trying to get that shot of the casket coming out of the hearse. The hearse was the hearse door was jammed.
Oh yeah,
open it.
That's the story I heard.
And one of our guys got in the hearse right along Mark and was jimming the lock, you know. And we finally got it open, making that helicopter spin around. And a friend of mine said to me, he goes, "You know, Mark is probably standing next to St. Peter now." And he's going, "Hey, watch this." You know? And when the hearse door opened, there was a hooray.
Yeah. Because
we had all waited like 45 minutes in the heat. It is the first time in the history of internments, hooray has ever been said. Mark was a funny man. He was a good man, and he was very funny. And I, in fact, the last I saw him, it was at a reception for a new priest who had been ordained in Oklahoma City. I used to write for Sooner Catholic, the archdiocesan newspaper. I wrote for them for 5 years, as well as the Oklahoma Constitution. And I saw him there, and he said to me, because he knew about my first book, The War on Smokers, he said, "What are you doing here? We don't have any cigarettes."
Hey, let's get back to your first book. So essentially, what are you trying to say through that book?
I am saying that in a free society, legal products should be able to be consumed and enjoyed in designated areas. I'm not interested in, I did not write this book to argue that you should smoke in a daycare.
Correct.
I wrote this book to say you should be able to smoke in a bar. You should be able to smoke in the park. You should be able to smoke in an open, and you shouldn't be stigmatized because you enjoy tobacco. A lot of people, I smoke a pipe.
Would you agree, though, that that bar owner may, of his own volition?
Absolutely. And I completely support that.
But if for the state to say to that bar owner, you can't allow it, that's a difference.
That's a very different thing. In fact, Nigel Farage has a copy of this book.
Okay.
I'm always grateful to Rhonda Velamont Smith because she let me backstage when he was in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And he had a cigarette on him.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought to myself, if he becomes prime minister, I'm just going to tell people, and I think he will become prime minister of Britain. I'm just going to tell people all he had to do was come to Tulsa and meet me.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, your book is primarily about smokers' rights, but not just smokers' rights, because it's a lot, right?
Because
exactly. There's a broader issue with his individual liberty.
There's a whole chapter in here on the rise of the nanny state, about just all sorts of behaviors that experts, so-called experts, deem not good.
Okay. Do you remember C.S. Lewis has a famous quote?
You smoked a pipe,
right? About moral busybodies.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to?
I wish I knew that quote when I wrote this book.
Yes.
Yes. It was
it's worse than a tyrant.
Worse than a robber baron, because a robber baron's appetite may become satiated, but a moral busybody will never become, their appetite for control will never become satiated because they believe that they are on the right side.
Well, and
that's a rough translation.
They are working for what's good for you.
Yes.
It's that arrogance.
We're here to protect you from yourself. And this book became so prescient when COVID happened. I mean, it really did. When COVID happened, I thought to myself, "Oh wow, I was ahead of the ball by 11 years."
You see, Ted, this is the unique thing. Eddie grew up his early years in Germany, right? Catholic mom, right? And I grew up in central Minnesota, kind of the Garrison Keillor, Lake Wobegon.
I met him.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in the Catholic Church up there, I associate with the moral busybodies, not the church itself, but the culture and attitude of the people.
Sure.
And I see a lot of Catholic politicians, I won't name names, but some of them very local here, who think that it's for your own good that they impose these moral standards on you, these like the smoking and things like that.
Right.
Kind of like the blue laws we have in Oklahoma.
Sure.
You grew up here in a very evangelical state. And this is the thing about the Catholic Church, is it kind of absorbs and becomes part of various cultures. So there's not just one Catholic culture.
Right.
You want to speak to that?
Well, could you elaborate about Minnesota? Because I've been to Minnesota.
So, Garrison Keillor talks about Lake Wobegon. He talks about Uppsala, he calls it. We call it Uppsala, holding Fort Avon, Flensburg's German.
Right.
Sobieski's a little town that's Polish.
Right.
Okay. St. Stanislav's the church there, right? And the Catholic Church takes on the culture of the community. Belle Prairie, close by my house, was French Catholic, Acadian, right? And they will fight over the hymns. Are they German hymns or are they French hymns or Irish hymns?
I'm not familiar with that because I'm
exactly. Here. You guys are such a low percent,
right,
that you need each other. Up there, there's Catholic. If you're not Catholic, you're Lutheran. If you're not Catholic or Lutheran, you kept quiet about it up there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but this is the thing here, and I want to commend the Catholic Church in Oklahoma politics. It's overrepresented, you might say.
Oh yes.
You know, some incredible Mark Costello, Dewey Bartlett, his father, you know, and Frank Keating.
Oh,
and
yes.
There's just a lot of them.
Right.
LaFortune family.
Oh, yes.
And why is that?
I don't know. I remember you're saying on the Pat Campbell show that in Tulsa, you said the Jews have all the money, the Catholics have all the power, and the Protestants have all the mouth. I always thought that was... always thought that was so funny because, you know, it's funny because you go, there's LaFortune Park and across is the Warren facility that, you know.
Oh, yes. He was Catholic. His wife was Methodist.
She was Methodist. By the way, I learned this. I should probably say hello to my cousins in Colorado and Montana. They're related to the Warrens.
I'm sure they're watching.
They're probably not, but I'll tell them. I'll send them a link. They'll find out.
He's ruining the family name.
Well, I'm not a Warren. They are. Anyway, but the pink building, the hospital, Mrs. Warren liked that color, and she just chose it. And so everything about St. Francis is pink because of that.
Okay, tell me whether this is true.
Right.
They were both from wealthy families. But this was going to be an interdenominational marriage. They had agreed all their sons would be raised Catholic. All their daughters would be raised Methodist.
Yes.
They had all girls.
No. They had a son.
Okay, they did. All right. And she put all her money into Asbury, was her local congregation.
Right.
You can tell how well Asbury.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
He put everything into the Warren complex, St. Francis Hospital, and all the Warren buildings there. Is that true or not?
I do know that about that arrangement. One of her daughters married my cousin. We called him Demi-John King, and she wound up becoming Catholic. They were married at Christ the King, at church. My father was in the wedding. He was an altar boy. In fact, Bill Warren was one of the altar boys too. So but they were all raised Methodist. The girls were.
All right.
Yeah.
You need to start a podcast.
History of Tulsa.
Being a Catholic
history and religion of Tulsa.
I could go on and on, but yes.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see that. So, but why did this monastery come to be in Oklahoma?
Okay. I'm going to put it out here. So the origin story is actually from Lawrence, Kansas. There was a program called the Integrated Humanities Program, and it was a great books program at the school, and it was Plato and Dante and the Bible and all various books. And you would go and you would attend this seminar. Now, two of the professors were Catholic, one was Anglican. The Anglican wound up becoming Catholic too. Their names were Senior, Quinn, and Nellick. And they would have these discussions. And they would discuss things like the Odyssey. What was Homer doing? Homer was trying to go home. And one of the professors would look at these rabble students in the 1970s and say, and where are you going? Where are you going with your life? And they would not take notes. They would not take notes, but they would just absorb the talk, and then they would have discussions. This program transformed hundreds of kids, Kansas kids. And as a result, a lot of them became Catholic. In fact, Mark Kane, who's an attorney up in Bartlesville, read my book recently, and he said, as one who is at KU, you got it. You figured it out. You got, and I read a book about this.
Okay, but about the monastery.
Right. Now, a number of the students who became Catholic wound up going into a monastery in France, Montcombo.
Okay.
Father Bethel, who's out at the monastery, he's from Wichita. He looks like John Malkovich, the actor.
Okay.
He's a really cool guy. He's a very cool man. That is Father Bethel. He becomes Catholic from Methodist. I think he was Methodist.
Okay.
And his parents said, well, good. He's named Rourke after the protagonist in The Fountainhead. And they said, well, good, Rourke, you're becoming Catholic, you're going to church. That's great.
Okay.
And then he announced he was going to join a monastery in France. And they said, you're going where? You're going to do what? That was different. The abbot, Father Anderson, is from, I think it's Prairie Village. I have it in the book, a suburb of Kansas City. Father Bethel is from Wichita. There are a number of priests, some from Overland Park and others. And it's kind of a Catholic contingent. It was a Kansas contingent. The original, they were in France for many years. The abbot of Fontainebleau wanted to create a new establishment in the United States.
Okay.
And they were looking for several years at various properties. And they found a property owned by the Doyle family of Tulsa, a Catholic family who had this wonderful place out in Cherokee County. And they purchased they wanted to sell it, and the monks were able to buy it, and they were able to move in. The title of the book is Cowboy Bethlehem because that was the nickname they gave the place.
Okay.
And I tell people this is the only book. There was a series in the 1960s on the BBC called Civilization with Lord Kenneth Clark. And it is the greatest documentary series on Western art that will ever be made. So Lord Kenneth Clark, I tell people this is the only book in the world where Lord Kenneth Clark and Toby Keith get equal mention.
Okay. What is the mission of this monastery? I can think of a lot of accomplishments.
Sure.
Tell me what their focus is.
Their focus for themselves is to get themselves into heaven.
Gotcha.
Okay. And hope and to pray for us.
So it's that monastic, explain monastic living.
I'll read it to you.
Oh.
This is, and I wanted a Bible quote because, Catholics, we're not like you all, or anything. We're not well-versed in everything in the Bible, but this is from Matthew 19:16-22. And behold, one came and said to him, good master, what good shall I do that I may have life everlasting? Who said to him, why asketh me concerning good? One is good, God, but if thou wilt ever will enter into life, keep the commandments. He said to him, which? And Jesus said, thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man said to him, all of these things I have kept from my youth. Yet, what is yet wanting to me? Jesus said to him, thou wilt be perfect. If thou wilt be perfect, go sell what thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come follow me.
Okay.
And when the young man heard this word, he went away sad, for he had many possessions. That is pretty much the root, the biblical root of monasticism.
So it's to try to free yourself from materialism,
right,
to the extent you can.
Right. And I say, I'll I don't know. Should I read it?
No, try. Just,
it's not King James English.
No, it was the Dewey Reams Bible.
Well, just tell us.
That was the Dewey Reams you're reading from?
Yes.
With the thustil and the thustil and the thus.
Okay. Yes. So, in your own words.
Their purpose is to get themselves into heaven and inspire us.
Inspire us. So they know, as Jesus said, let your works be seen in front of men.
Right.
You let your light shine before men.
Right.
When they performed a Latin requiem for Mark Costello's funeral, the whole state was there. I mean, gosh,
it was huge.
Packed. Yes. And yeah, it clearly they were demonstrating their form of worship.
Right.
Very devout.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, I went to a Latin wedding, my nephew out there, but it's that getting in touch with the worship of the ages, as the Catholics, the Roman Catholics have expressed it. And you see us culturally now moving towards reconnecting with the things that we kind of set aside.
Yes.
And that's what's bringing about a growth in the Catholic Church.
I as one who grew up in the 70s, we had these awful hymnals from the Jesuits from St. Louis. By the way, there's a joke. There are 3 things God does not know. You ever heard this one?
No.
Okay. 1, how much money do the Franciscans have? God doesn't know that.
You're getting on my people now. I grew up in the Franciscans.
2, how many women religious there are? And 3, what are the Jesuits up to?
There we go.
So anyway, they're Benedictines, by the way. They're not Jesuits. Yeah, I mean, the hymnals were terrible. They were just dreadful. And I would think to myself, don't we have like
but that's
music?
Jesuits. The Franciscans were better.
I mean, all the Catholic churches in the 1970s and 80s, it was, let us build the city of God. May our dear tears be.
Yeah, the Methodists had an upper leg on. I mean, Charles Wesley himself, right?
I went to a Methodist funeral years ago, and the cantor gets up and she says, and now we're going to hear a song that the deceased request. And it's on Eagle's Wings. And I'm like, I heard, it just hurts me to hear that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that and Amazing Grace. But that's
we get more carnal about the songs.
Right, we do.
In the selection. And we call that the worship portion.
Yes.
And dying to self, no, we get more carnal about it.
No,
and you know what? All denominations have that struggle.
Oh, sure, they do. Yeah.
But anyway, I think we should wrap it up. Tell us how to get the book, how to get in touch with you.
Okay. The book is available at Dorrance Bookstore right now. It's also available.
Where's that at?
Well, Dorrance Publishing. It's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's available.
So online.
It's online. You can get it on Amazon, although there's no picture on Amazon, and Jeff Bezos has enough money. So I would say go to Barnes & Noble because they do have my book there.
Gotcha.
I am going to have a website up soon. I hope. I'm not a web builder, and it's going to be cowboybethlehem.com and Cowboy Bethlehem book. I do know that the Catholic bookstore in Tulsa, Catholic Books and Gifts, has stocked it, and they're getting more copies in because they've sold out. It's also available if you're watching this in Kansas at Eighth Day Books in Wichita, which is a nice little bookstore.
Good.
It's not a little bookstore; it's a very big bookstore. As well as I think it's Trinity Catholic Books in Overland Park. Has it as well, and the Catholic Information Center in Washington D.C. has it.
All right,
kind of cool.
So
and I can be reached Theodore King on Facebook, and the icon is this book. So if you want to reach out to me and give me a call or whatever, I'll be glad to sell you a book.
So through Facebook, you'll let people know of book signings and.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm going to be. Thank you. Wednesday, I'm going to be in the Hiring Auditorium, which is in the basement of Holy Family Cathedral. After the noon mass, it'll be at 12:45. There'll be a light lunch, and I will be signing. I will give a little talk, and I will be signing books. They have 40 books. I have another 30. So if they run out,
okay, that's on 11th Street downtown.
Yeah, it's a Holy Family Cathedral.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Denver.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Boulder. Excuse
Boulder.
me.
That sounds.
Why did I say Denver?
Yes.
You know why? Because I'm familiar with this place and I just know where everything is. So,
all right.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to break.
All right. Hey Ted, thank you very much for coming back.
Appreciate it.